Hi, Mrs. Gibbs here with a few recorder rules for you. Today we're going to talk about the 5 most important recorder rules. Number 1, wait to play. When we have over 20 of us in a room with recorders, it's really important that we always wait until it's the correct time to play. If we play whenever we want, it can be really distracting for other people who are trying to listen. And if we have like 20 of us all playing random things at one time, nobody's going to be able to hear. So you always want to make sure that you wait until we try something together as a class, or I've given you special permission to try something on your recorder. We'll always play the songs together. When we have a new note, I'll always give you a chance to try it, so don't worry. As long as you're patient, we'll always get to the part where you get to play. Rule number 2, when you're playing the recorder, your left hand always goes on the top. When you get your recorder, everyone's going to get one of these left hand on top stickers to put on your recorder to give you a reminder that your left hand is always going to go on the top. If you're someone who likes to wear bracelets or a ponytail holder or something like that on your wrist, it might be a good idea to wear it on your left hand during music class so you can remember which hand it is that you need to have on the top of your recorder. As we start to learn new notes, if you have your hands switched, it's just not going to work when you have to cover up all the holes. So as you're starting, even if you feel like you can play it with your right hand, you've got to learn it with your left hand on top. Rule number 3, always make sure you're covering the holes all the way. The way to make sure that you're covering the holes is to have flat fingers. Don't play with your fingers pointed on the holes, but lay them flat with the big, thick part of your finger right over the hole. When you're done playing, you can always do a check and look at your fingers to see if you have what I like to call finger warts, which are going to be the little circles on your hands that you get from pressing on the holes and covering them up all the way. So when you play your recorder, if you feel like it's not working exactly right, check for those finger warts and see if you really are covering up the holes all the way to get the best sound that you can. Rule number 4, we always want to use warm, soft air in our recorder. If I blew onto my hand with a small, fast stream of air, that air feels kind of cold. Go ahead and try it. But if I blow onto my hand with a slower stream of air, that air feels a little bit warmer. So we always want to use warm, slow air in our recorder. If we blow too quickly, we're going to get a lot of squeaky noises. So we always want to blow soft and make sure that it's warm air in our recorder to get the best sound. Rule number 5, when you have your recorder, you might be taking it to and from class or on the bus or maybe aftercare or things like that. But you can only play your recorder here in music class or at home when your parents have told you that it is an okay time to practice. We never want to play our recorder on the bus or at recess or in the hallway. Those are ways that we can get our recorder taken away. And we want to have a recorder here with us in class. We also want to make sure that nothing happens to our recorder, like it doesn't get broken or anything. So keeping it in class or at home are the best ways to make sure that your recorder is going to stay safe. Sometimes when you're playing your recorder, you may get a squeaky sound that you don't like very much. So here's 3 ways you can make sure that you're going to get a good sound on your recorder. Number 1, you might have to change your airspeed. If I'm playing this note into my recorder and blowing fast air, doesn't really sound that good. So I'm going to try to slow my air down and see if that fixes it. Much better. Number 2, you want to check where your fingers are. One of the most important things is check to see if your thumb hole on the back is covered up. If I play this note with no thumb hole on the back, doesn't sound very good. But when I have my finger all the way over that hole, we get a nice sound again. We also want to check our fingers in the front, make sure they're flat and we're getting those finger warts, that they're covered up all the way. If we have our finger moved over a little bit so some air is leaking out, that's going to make our recorder squeak a little bit. We also want to make sure that we're using the correct fingers that go with the note that we're trying to play, and that we've got our left hand on the top. And lastly, if you're getting a squeaky sound on your recorder, you might just want to take a break and try again. Sometimes we can get a little frustrated when it's not going the way that we want. So we might just have to take a little break, take a few deep breaths to calm our body, and try again. We might figure out something that we didn't notice before, or a light bulb might go off in our brain and we might figure out how we're supposed to play it, and it'll sound much better the second time. So don't get frustrated, keep trying, and we're gonna work on all of these songs together, and you're going to be a recorder ninja before you know it. Bye.